Well, Facebook officials say they are aware that its photo sharing app, Instagram, may be harmful to teenagers, This after a new Wall Street Journal report. Check out this headline. Facebook knows Instagram is toxic for teen girls. Its own in-depth research shows a significant teen mental health issue that Facebook downplays in public. So we want to discuss the details with tech expert Cassie Slane. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us.
Good to be here.
So first, I want to start off with the fact that it sounds like Facebook, which owns Instagram now, of course, they do their own internal research and investigations into how their own apps affect children.
Yeah, they actually did. They just did a study and they released it and said that they do believe it is harmful to teens. Up until that point, they were really downplaying any risks associated with how teens felt about themselves and how that affected them through the app. But now they're coming out and saying that that actually does.
And when you say release, I want to put that in perspective. They're not releasing all of the details, all of it in full. I know the Washington Street Journal, they got some of it, and some of it's being released because they say they can't give all the information out. But what we do know is concerning. I mean, we want to put up this full screen of the percentages. When it comes to girls, they're saying that 32% of teen girls feel bad about their bodies, and it's because Instagram made them feel worse. And then when it comes to boys, 14% of boys in the U.S. say that Instagram makes them feel worse about themselves. Are you surprised by the statistics at all?
No, considering that 40% of Instagram users are under the age of 22. And, a lot of these kids are on there for hours at a time and they're scrolling through and they're seeing these perfect bodies and they're seeing people with a ton of money. And a lot of these are photoshopped. And, of course, when you look at that over and over again, especially with somebody that is really just, they're forming their identity, of course it's going to make them feel bad about themselves. I'm not surprised at all.
And let's go through some of the details because, and I think I said it wrong earlier, the Wall Street Journal obtained screenshots. And this is from a 2019 Instagram slide presentation. And we want to go through this first one. It says 1 in 5 teens say that Instagram makes them feel worse about themselves. And when it comes to the UK, the girls were affected the most negatively.
Right. Yes. I mean, and that's just what, like I said before, it's the constant scrolling and they're feeling, bad about themselves because they're seeing these images on Instagram and they're of people that, are, photoshopped and with a lot of money and they're not necessarily realistic. So it's a staggering figure.
And that brings us to the second one then. The quote is, the perfect image, feeling attractive and having enough money, those they're most likely to have started on Instagram. And it's interesting that they found it was the Explore page that can really get people going down a dangerous path, and I'm sure you can explain, what is the Explore page and how can it get to be that way for teens?
So it's really, it's a lot of it's the algorithms that are built into Instagram. And it's how, once a teen is on there and they're seeing something and they're looking through stories and they're looking through pictures, the algorithm continues to show them more and more of the same. So that's really how it's all built. And, they have a responsibility to really take a look at that.
So they have a responsibility. They say that they're developing, and it's had a lot of opinions about it, Instagram for teens, younger teens, so 13 and under, so younger folks. Do you think that's a good idea, or do you think just kids shouldn't be on it altogether?
No, I think when they do that under 13, it's going to still show the same things because I think a lot of kids under 13, they're still posting a lot of this similar stuff and they're still seeing it. And then They also kind of say they're older to get on the older platform. They do that all the time with all of the websites. So I don't think that's necessarily the way to go. I think they need to really start a campaign where they're showing, people that are real and they're showing what's fake and what's not. And so teens can see what's real and what's not on there. They should really be focusing more on a campaign like that instead of like, all right, under 13 version, over 13 version. I don't think that's going to take care of the issue.
Gotcha. So for parents, we want to show you what you can do to help and about 3 things you say parents should do. What's the first thing?
Well, I don't see the screen, but the first thing
Okay, limit the amount of social media.
Yes, limit the amount of social media. My kids don't have Instagram. I have 3 daughters. And I limit what they do
And we should
on
point
social
out, they're
media.
like 12, right?
13, 12,
So they're
and 9.
Instagram age.
They do not have Instagram. And they have limits on how many hours a day they can be on their phones and specific apps. So I think that limiting that is very important.
Okay, and then your 2 other tips are extracurricular activities. It helps build your self-esteem, takes you away from that phone. You're actually living life. And then the third one is keep an open dialogue. So I guess talk to your kids, see what they're seeing, and talk about how they're digesting all of that. So thank you, Cassie.
All right, thanks, Alex. See you.
We appreciate it. Things to keep in mind as we're all on those apps. We're going to take a break.